Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. This is the iGold Advisor channel. It is April 3rd, 2024, and the silver breakout is underway. Guys, these types of signals only appear once every several years in the silver market. We've been waiting for this one for almost 4 years. It is happening in front of our eyes. I want to give you a set of guideposts as to what you can reasonably expect from the move ahead. Make sure to hit the red subscribe button so that you will be notified when these videos come out here on YouTube. If you would have 1 second to hit the thumbs up button, I would very much appreciate it. It helps out here the algorithms on YouTube. Thank you for that. Last but not least, make sure to follow our free Twitter/X feed at iGlobalGold. Sometimes I have a chance to post updates during the middle of the week when I don't always have a chance to post here on YouTube. So let's look at this silver breakout that is underway and then what we may expect over the months ahead. Our legal disclaimer for 1 moment, and we look at it. Okay. So what I want to do is show you the big picture here for silver. It's been a long time since we've looked at this chart. We're looking at silver from 2007 through the present. And the point that we're trying to focus on is this primary downtrend break from this blue solid series of lower and lower and lower peaks that had been unfolding here over the last 4 years. Okay. So and we want to look at what can we reasonably think about expecting for this silver surge that is setting up right now. Not what is guaranteed. There are no guarantees in the markets. But what could we think about reasonably expecting? Reasonably. So what I want to do is show you the previous 4 times. Over the last 2 decades, there have only been 4 of these signals that are now appearing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to look at what happened each of these times that silver broke these similar multi-year downward trends. Here in 2009, when silver broke out, this was above the $13 mark. You can see this right here in April of 2009. Over the next 24 months, silver rose 278%, all the way up to this $50 level. Quite impressive, right? Now, let's look at the example here in 2012. After silver peaked, and you had a series of 1, 2, 3 very clear lower peaks that was finally broken here, we can see that this result was less dramatic, although it was still a significant move. Let's define it. 26% for silver over 1.5 months. All right. Let's look at this multi-year downtrend right here that broke out in February of 2016. And look what happened after that. And we can define that precisely as a 42% surge. We're always going from the moment that silver broke the primary blue downtrend. It then surged 42% in 5 months. Okay. Let's look at this most recent example here from 2020 after the coronavirus panic. When silver broke above $18.40, it then surged what? 63% in just 1.5 months. So we can see that over the last 20 years, there have only been 4 of these signals. We are seeing the 5th signal right now. And the question is, what could we reasonably expect? Not pie in the sky figures. There's plenty of people out there who are going to talk about $100 or $500 or $1,000 silver. I like to look at what we can reasonably expect based on visible evidence from the actual data as to how silver itself has traded over the last 20 years. If we look at simply the average of these previous 4 signals and the amount of time that it took to reach the peaks, we can see a lot of these peaks happen rather quickly. Look at this, 1.5 months, 5 months, 1.5 months. The outlier is this one, 2 years. So as a net sum, it appears that we really do not have too much time before whatever sort of surge is going to manifest this time. And the average of all these surges over the last 20 years, if we just average everything out, comes to 102% over an average of 8 months. If you multiply the breakout point, remember the figure we were watching was $24.80. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last video. $24.80 multiplied by the average of 102% yields a target, amazingly, of just $50.10. So that is 10 cents above the previous peak here from 2011. Can you imagine how closely the peak setting up could be to the peak back in 2011? So here are the statistics. Here is all of the data. There are no other multi-year downtrends that have broken in the silver market over the last 20 years. As I said, these signals only appear once every 3 to 5 years. We're living through one right now. If this is going to be right, I mean, it could be a little bit more than this. It could be less than this. You do not have very much time here to be finalizing your silver-related investments. That is the takeaway. Now, we have a lot of investors who are new to this type of investing, whether you're talking silver or silver miners. And I want to explain to you the difference between investing in silver bullion, which we just talked about, and investing in silver mining companies. This is for new investors who would like to understand more about this type of investing. This is what I do personally with my funds. This is what the investors that are in our group, Precious Metals Intelligence Plus, we are all investing both in physical silver and in silver mining companies. I want to show you the difference between these two styles of investing. So right now, let's use round numbers. Silver just crossed above the $25 mark. It just broke above that yesterday. We just talked about we have a reasonable expectation based on the average of all those cycles that we just looked at over the last 20 years that silver could get up to the $50 mark over the next 8 months. Doing the simple math here yields a profit percentage of 100%. Very simple to see. If silver moves from 25 to 50, that's a doubling or a 100% profit. Now I want to show you why a lot of us are choosing to invest in silver miners and why you may want to make this decision. And if you do, I do not believe you have very much time left to prepare for this. I'm talking literally a matter of weeks here. Let's say that silver price, it's the same, right? We just talked about it. Just crossed over the $25 mark. Now the difference where this gets just one slight bit more complicated for the mining companies is that they have costs, right? When you just buy silver bars or coins, your cost is just the straight up silver price. But when you have a mining company and the current silver price is $25 per ounce, let's assume that it costs them $20 per ounce to extract every ounce of silver out of the ground. This leaves the mining company with a profit of $5 per ounce. Pretty simple math. 25 minus 20 is 5. Now, make the same assumption. So we're going under the exact same set of beliefs that silver could hit a future price of $50 per ounce. Exactly the same over here as with the silver bullion. Let's assume that the mining company has the same costs as they did. I mean, after all, the silver price could hit 50 within the next 8 months. I don't think most mining companies are going to see significant new costs over just 8 months. Now look at what happens to the difference in the profit here, the difference in the profit profile. Whereas the company used to have a $5 margin for every ounce that they mined from the ground, they now have a $30 margin. 50 minus 20 is 30. So do you see what has happened here? As the price of silver has doubled itself, a 100% profit for bullion itself, the mining company's profits have gone from $5 to $30 per ounce, which in percentage terms is a 500% increase. Same change in the bullion price. If you bought physical silver, which I think everyone should own some physical silver, you're doubling your money. If you were buying a basket of silver miners that performed average how they should in this cycle, you would be looking at a 500% profit over the exact same amount of time. Of course, there are many other factors that go into evaluating silver mining companies, such as where is the jurisdiction, where are the mines located, what is the track record of the mining company. All these factors go into it, but to boil it down to the most important points, these are the differences. So this is why I think you should consider an allocation to the silver mining companies at this time. There are different places you can do that, different ways you can do that. However, I want to show you what we are doing here, and this is why. Getting ready for this surge that is setting up right now. So consider if you would like to do the research yourself, or if you would like to consider joining us in our research service. This is what I do full time. I have dedicated the last 15 years to studying the precious metals and the mining sector. I am fully independent. I take no fees or kickbacks whatsoever from any of the mining companies that we invest in. You have to be very careful where you're getting your research from, because there are a number of people out there whose business models are, let's just say, different, where they take kickbacks from the companies to promote them. I do not do that. I have never done that. I never will do that. Precious Metals Intelligence Plus is the service for you if you would like to learn about the exact open market silver and gold mining companies that we are investing in. I've given away a couple of them for free here over the previous year, but we're investing in 8 companies right now, and we have 2 more picks coming within the next month. So that could be extremely exciting for what is setting up here for silver over the next 8 months if we get that move back to 50. Remember, you get flash updates right to your inbox. You don't have to wait until these updates come out on YouTube if you join us there in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. We also cover the physical metals every single week: gold, silver, Bitcoin, the stock market, the currency markets. Really comprehensive service for you, especially if you want that technical perspective on the precious metals markets. If you are a higher net worth investor, you have to understand the power of private placements. When we do these private placements, okay, we buy the exact same silver mining companies that we're buying here in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. However, we get even more reward potential for essentially the same amount of risk. And the reason for that is we get free warrants. The mining companies give us these warrants, which are similar to options. They give us the right, but not the obligation, to buy more shares at a set price in the future. So can you imagine if the price of the shares go up by 100 or 200 or 500%, like in our example, and you have the right to purchase more shares in the future at a set price? This is what you get in elite private placements. You also receive a free subscription to the PMI Plus service if you join us in Elite. Our next private placement is almost solidified. It should be available within the coming 1 to 2 weeks. So make sure to get ready for that if you are at the level where you would like to invest in private placements. You can always reach me for independent and individual consultations. We sit down just like we're speaking right now, but I call you by the phone or by Skype, however you prefer. We sit down and we discuss your situation. How much do you have in physical bullion? How much are you looking to allocate to the mining sector? What are your other form of savings? What is a prudent amount? How much would I invest in each of the mining companies if I was in your situation? I give you all that. Once again, remember, from an independent perspective, someone who is not being paid by any of the companies to talk about them, someone who simply does this full-time and researches this full-time. If you're working a job out there and you can't keep your eyes on the markets full-time, you should consider, what if you missed something? Is it really worth going on your own this round as this breakout is setting up? Or is it worth spending a little bit up front to have someone watching these markets for you around the clock and sending you alerts when you might not have the chance to follow it yourself? Think about that for this cycle. Consider if we get the average move in silver. Remember, the average move is over 100% over the previous 4 signals that have set up throughout the last 2 decades. If we get that average move again, we're going to $50 per ounce. And a lot of these silver mining companies are going to double, triple, quadruple, or more over this move. Think about it.